The season was supposed to be a redemption arc. Sunday Night Football, the lights, the noise, the perfect setup for a comeback. Jaden Daniels, the reigning Offensive Rookie of the Year, was returning from injury to lead the Washington Commanders back from the brink. Just 9 months earlier, he'd been the golden child of football, the future of a long-tormented franchise. But by the time the clock hit 7:29 left in the fourth quarter, everything had collapsed. And as Daniels fell to the ground with his left arm twisted at an impossible angle, the stadium went silent. In that silence, every Washington fan felt the weight of déjà vu, the sense that history wasn't just repeating, it was punishing them for ever believing things could be different. Daniels' dislocated elbow was officially listed as a freak accident, a play gone wrong in garbage time. But the real story is far darker. Because this injury wasn't just about bad luck. It was about decisions, about pride, negligence, and a franchise that has somehow spent over a decade learning nothing from its own tragic past. To understand how devastating this moment truly is, you have to remember where Jaden Daniels came from. Not long ago, he was untouchable. At LSU, he dazzled college football, winning the Heisman Trophy in 2023. When Washington selected him second overall in the draft, it was supposed to be the dawn of a new era. He wasn't just a quarterback, he was a phenomenon. As a rookie, Daniels shattered records that most veterans would dream of. He completed nearly 70% of his passes, threw for over 3,500 yards, and racked up 25 touchdowns to just 9 interceptions. But what made him electric was his mobility. Nearly 900 rushing yards. A constant threat on the ground. He broke Robert Griffin III's rookie rushing record, a name that should have been a warning sign burned into the collective memory of Washington fans. In his first year, Daniels carried the Commanders to heights they hadn't seen in decades. 12 wins, a playoff berth, and a shocking run to the NFC Championship game. Felt like destiny. The city finally believed again. For the first time since the early 90s, Washington had their guy. But if last season was a fairy tale, this one was the cruel epilogue no one saw coming. The Commanders stumbled into the 2025 season already bruised and battered. Key starters dropped like dominoes, and Daniels himself couldn't stay healthy. A sprained knee here, a hamstring tweak there. Each week felt like survival, not progress. By week 9, they were 3-5, clinging to mathematical playoff hopes. Still, Sunday night was supposed to be the reset button. Daniels was healthy again, or at least healthy enough. Fans tuned in expecting a revival. What they got was a demolition. The Seahawks dismantled Washington from the opening snap. By halftime, it was 31-7. The offensive line couldn't block, the defense couldn't tackle, and Daniels spent most of the night dodging defenders instead of throwing to his receivers. He was pressured on more than half his dropbacks, scrambling for his life just to stay upright. The game was long gone by the time the fourth quarter rolled around. Yet for reasons no one could quite explain, Daniels was still on the field. Then came the play that changed everything. Second and goal, down by 31, under 8 minutes to go. Daniels took the snap, rolled right, and saw nothing open. He did what he's always done, improvised. Drake Thomas came barreling toward him, wrapping him up mid-scramble. Daniels hit the ground awkwardly, bracing his fall with his left arm. And that's when his elbow bent the wrong way. The wrong way. Players froze. Helmets dropped. The crowd fell into a heavy, stunned silence that only football's most haunting moments can produce. He lay there motionless before medics rushed in. Teammates surrounded him, some kneeling, some pacing. When he finally stood, refusing the medical cart and walking off under his own power, it wasn't triumphant. It was tragic. Everyone watching knew it was over. The season, maybe even more than that. After the game, nobody cared about the 38-14 final score. The only question that mattered was the one echoing across social media and talk shows. Why was Jaden Daniels still in that game? It wasn't just second-guessing. It was outrage. Fans called it malpractice. Analysts called it negligence. Former players, coaches, and commentators all said the same thing. This was avoidable. Down 31 points, with your quarterback already banged up, you pull him, one fan raged online. You don't risk the future for a meaningless drive. Even ESPN's Emmanuel Acho didn't mince words. This wasn't football, he said. This was idiocy. This was negligence. In his post-game press conference, Head coach Dan Quinn looked defeated, his voice shaking as he admitted, "That's on me." He explained that they had removed quarterback runs from the playbook and were just trying to finish the game safely. But in his own words, he missed it. Because it didn't matter how conservative the play call was. What mattered was that Daniels was still there, still vulnerable, still absorbing hits that didn't need to happen. But what makes this story so gutting isn't just the immediate fallout. It's what it represents. Because Washington has seen this before. Same opponent, same field, same type of quarterback, same mistake. January 6, 2013. Wild Card Weekend. Robert Griffin III, fresh off a Rookie of the Year campaign eerily similar to Daniels, faced Seattle at FedEx Field. He was already injured, his knee compromised, but his coach kept him in. The turf was a disaster. The game was slipping away. And yet, there he was, fighting through pain until his leg literally gave out. Torn ACL. Torn LCL. Career never the same. Washington never recovered. Griffin's injury became one of the NFL's most infamous what-if stories. A tragic example of a coach failing to protect his star player. RG3 himself later said, "Players will always put their bodies on the line. That's why coaches have to protect them from themselves." That line now reads like prophecy. Because 13 years later, history has come full circle, only this time with Jaden Daniels playing the lead role in a script no one wanted to see performed again. The parallels are uncanny. Both Heisman winners. Both offensive rookies of the year. Both injured against the Seahawks. Both representing a franchise starved for hope and crushed by its own decisions. Washington doesn't just have a quarterback problem. It has a cultural one, an inability to learn from its ghosts. Now, the Commanders are left with Marcus Mariota as their starter. A stopgap solution for a team spiraling into irrelevance. They sit at 3-6. Their season effectively over. Daniels' MRI will determine the extent of the damage, but early reports suggest torn ligaments and months of recovery time. Maybe he'll be back next year. Maybe not the same. Because injuries like this, they linger. They change the way a player moves, thinks, and trusts his body. And for Washington, whose past is littered with broken bodies and shattered potential, it's yet another cruel reminder that hope in this franchise often comes with a price. The conversation now turns to accountability. How does this keep happening? Why, in an era where player safety is supposedly paramount, do teams still sacrifice the future for meaningless minutes of pride? There's a belief in football culture that pulling your quarterback in a blowout is a sign of weakness, that it sends the wrong message. But toughness isn't playing through stupidity. Toughness is knowing when to stop bleeding. Dan Quinn failed that test, and now his team will pay the price. And it's not just about one game. The Commanders had a chance to build something real, a future that looked sustainable. But with every injury, every misstep, the foundation cracks a little more. It's one thing to lose a season. It's another to lose a generation of fans who are tired of watching history rhyme with the same tragic chorus. When Jaden Daniels limped off that field, helmet still on, refusing the cart, it wasn't defiance. It was resignation. The kind only a player who knows the script can feel. The ghosts of FedEx Field aren't imaginary. They live in the turf, in the decisions made by men who should have known better, and in the hearts of fans who've seen this ending before. The Commanders' future was supposed to begin with Jaden Daniels. Instead, it may have ended with him lying face down on the same cursed ground that once ended RG3's dreams. Two quarterbacks, two eras, one haunting truth. Washington football can't stop destroying its own. But what do you think? Was this just an unfortunate accident? Or did Dan Quinn and the Commanders truly fail their young star? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more deep dives into the stories shaping the NFL, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Until then, this is Mike, dropping the mic.